Since the beginning of human history, an invisible war has raged just out of sight. The adversary in this conflict has pursued one unyielding objective: consuming the light and severing humanity from its creator. To achieve this, Satan deploys sin as a calculated tactical weapon. It operates as a wedge, driving a thick barrier between people and God. The arrival of Jesus launched a direct counteroffensive. With every sick person he healed, every broken life he restored, and every sinner he forgave, Jesus actively reclaimed lost territory and dismantled the influence the enemy held over the world. Sensing his grip slipping, the adversary orchestrated a counterattack. He laid a trap, exploiting the jealousy of the religious leaders and the greed of one of Jesus's closest disciples, Judas. The trap snapped shut. Jesus was arrested in the dead of night, rushed through an unjust trial, and ultimately nailed to a wooden cross while the afternoon sky went black. The fallout was immediate. Roman soldiers mocked him, the authorities cheered, and his closest friends scattered in terror. The mission appeared to collapse in a matter of hours. Watching the Son of God take his final breath, the enemy believed he had secured his final triumph. He had silenced his opponent for good, unaware that this specific death was the one event his own survival could not afford. The cross sat at the very center of a deliberate, pre-planned strategy for salvation. Satan missed a flaw in his own design. By aggressively pushing for the crucifixion, he triggered the exact mechanism required to finalize his own defeat. Dark data points, representing global condemnation, actively converge as Jesus absorbs humanity's moral debt. Every agonizing physical detail acted as currency, paying a spiritual debt we couldn't afford. Once that payment cleared, the enemy's barrier of guilt shattered, opening a direct path to the Creator. By orchestrating Jesus' death, the adversary inadvertently provided the perfect sacrifice required to redeem humanity. He broke his own influence, using his own tactics. Even so, the immediate aftermath was agonizing. For 3 days, silence reigned over a sealed, guarded tomb, while the disciples lived in the belief that everything was lost. Then, on the morning of the third day, God executed his final maneuver. The massive stone sealing the grave rolled back. The tomb sat entirely empty. Jesus had physically returned from the dead, proving that the grip of death had been broken. The attempt to silence the Savior backfired. Instead of erasing his message, the execution and empty tomb ensured the truth would be broadcast to the ends of the earth. The resurrection confirms that the enemy's plan was self-defeating. He had wanted to suppress the Savior, but in doing so, he permitted the Savior to accomplish the very salvation that would end his reign. This leaves us with a profound paradox. The ancient world's most terrifying instrument of torture transformed into a symbol of love and pardon. The impact of that victory is measurable right now. Millions of lives continue to find freedom as addictions break and guilt gives way to lasting peace. The invisible war certainly continues today. The adversary remains active, constantly attempting to tempt, accuse, and drag you down into discouragement. But the nature of this conflict has shifted. Today, the enemy resists a victory that has already been secured by Jesus Christ. Because God can take the tragedy of the cross and turn it into salvation, you can trust that no personal darkness is eternal when Jesus is present in your life. If this message brought you hope today, subscribe to the channel and share this video. Help us proclaim this victory to a world that needs to hear it. This raises a critical question for modern believers. Can you be under a targeted spiritual attack without even knowing it? Join us in the next episode as we explore the signs of the invisible war.